Hello, how's everybody doing today? I really just needed like somebody to write with me today because or like external pressure, I guess, to write today because I am trying and I am not succeeding. I'm sitting here for the last hour trying to write words and it's just not happening. And I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated, which is why I just decided to do these little impromptu writing sprints today. Nobody seems to be doing any live streams at the moment. And so I just figured why not do it myself? So I know this is kind of like a weird time, but I needed I needed it. I just needed it. So that's what I'm doing here today. I'm going to be doing some live writing sprints. I think probably for the next hour or so, maybe 2 hours, depending on how many people decide to pop in. So feel free if you're watching this to go ahead and drop in the chat what you're working on today. I am going to be drafting for chapter 12 of my dark fantasy novel, Project Reaper. I am about 560 words into the chapter, and I'm trying to hit a 2,500 word goal today. And so far, I've written 177 words, and it is already 3:30. So obviously, I'm not doing very well with it, and so I figured, why not? Just try to work on it a little bit more this afternoon. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. Again, feel free to drop what you're working on in the chat and tell me how your weekend's going. How's your first couple of days of November? Today has been an interesting day for me. I did go out to get some breakfast with my cousin, and we ended up going and getting a cinnamon roll afterwards and stopping by this little bookstore in a neighborhood kind of adjacent to where I live. It's cute. I've never actually been in there before. I'm really glad I stopped by because I think that'll be the bookstore that I shop out moving forward. If I don't feel like making a trip out to Barnes and Noble. But other than that, that's really all that's been happening this weekend. Haven't really done a whole lot else. I did do some writing yesterday, but not a whole lot. So trying to kind of make it up today. And yeah, it's just not been working for me. So that's pretty much it. Now, while everybody is sort of filtering in, I am just going to kind of make sure I've got everything set up, and then we will spin for time and we'll get started on writing. All right. All right, seems like everything is set up pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. All right, so it looks like everything is set up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the wheel, and we'll do a little spinny thing, and then we will set the timer and we'll get started. Off with a small 30-minute timer. I'm going to go ahead and get that set up, and we'll start with the first sprint. All right. Hope everybody is ready to focus in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that scared me a little bit. Um, anyways, how did the sprint go for everybody? Sorry, I'm having like a technical issue. 1 second. Why is this? Hold on. Here we go. That's better. How did everybody do during that last sprint? Went by pretty fast for me, but I did manage to write, let's see, 549 words. So I feel pretty good about the progress. But I still have a long ways to go because my goal today is to write 2,500 words. So we'll see how long it takes me. I'm hoping that I could get a good chunk of that done, or at least get started, obviously, for this during the stream. Maybe 1,500 during the stream. We'll see. Don't know. But let me know how you did during that sprint. And also, like, if you're here and would like to share, let me know what you're working on. What kind of book are you working on? Or are you like folding laundry? What's the deal for you today? I did mention this earlier, but since everybody has like sort of popped in now, just to kind of like recap, I am trying to do like a 5K in a weekend situation this weekend. I got a late start. These are the first words that I've written so far today because my cousin and I went to breakfast and we stopped by like a little bookstore. I got a sticker and we got like cinnamon rolls and stuff. So it's been kind of like a busy day for me on that front. And I'm also like making a vlog at the moment. So just been kind of like doing a bunch of stuff. But I feel decent about the amount of work that I've gotten done so far. So that's cool. So yeah, why don't you guys share what you're working on in the chat? And also, like, if you have any questions or whatever, feel free to pop them in as well. I am currently in Act 2 of my Dark Fantasy project, Project Reaper, working on Chapter 12 at the moment. And I'm struggling a little bit because the voice of this book is very specific. So I'm being kind of precious about my word choice. And this session, writing session specifically, I've had some trouble, but I feel like I'm kind of finding a stride. There's just a couple of things in here that I would change. And obviously it's first draft, so can't be too harsh on myself about it. But yeah, I mean, it's going well so far, I guess. I can't really complain. Also, I'm like this close to 20,000 words. So that's also pretty cool. So yeah. Hi, Kayla. How are you? Are you going to be doing some writing today? Let me know. And if you are, what are you working on? I'm hoping that maybe I can even get the full 2,500 words done during this sprint. Who knows? But I feel really bad because I haven't put a vlog out in a while. And part of that is because like mental health stuff. And I've been like, kind of like, I've been like sick and then not sick and then sick again. So it's just been kind of hard and stressful to try to like pull out a vlog, or to like vlog, I mean, but I'm hoping to have another vlog out by this coming up Friday. I'm working on it today. We'll be doing like a 5K weekend, life updates kind of thing. So it should be kind of fun to put together. But yeah, I mean, feel free, like I said, to share what you're working on in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the prompt wheel, or not the prompt wheel, but the wheel for some more. Oh my gosh, which one is it? Here it is. I'm going to pull up the wheel to spin again for our next time. If you guys would like to guess how long we're going to be sprinting for, feel free to do that in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and spin it, and we'll jump right into the next sprint. Another 30-minute sprint. I really hope that we don't stick on these 30-minute sprints the whole time because I've lately been really liking longer sprints. The short sprints have sort of like they've had their time, and now I'm in like a longer sprint sort of mode. But Kayla is working on editing Act 1 of their fantasy, and it's been rough, but trying to push through, huh? Yeah. So are you in draft 2 or draft 3? Like, which draft are you in? And yeah, I can understand that. I'm having sort of similar thoughts and feelings about my draft at the moment, but obviously I'm just in draft 1, so I haven't really gotten so far to edit anything yet, except for Project Daydream, which I'm sort of like keeping on the back burner at the moment. While you guys are like in the chat here real quick, I'm gonna just reset our timer. Let's see. Done my sprint. Jenna got 677 words. Congratulations. That's a great sprint. Great sprint. Are you feeling good about the progress that you made and everything? I know you at the beginning were saying that um you didn't really have a whole lot of time, so and this is just like your first sprint of the day. So I'm glad you were able to at least get something done. I know sometimes it can be hard to find the time or the willpower, the strength, the motivation, or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like it. But that's one of the reasons why I do these live streams, not just so that I can write with you guys, but also because I need them. Like, I cannot write. It seems like lately I haven't been able to write unless there's someone else there with me. I have had some success doing it, but not like a whole lot. It's like hit and miss, but ever since I started doing these live streams more regularly, it's been really difficult trying to write on my own. It's probably a problem, but it's fine. Yep, first words of the day. I think I'll be here for at least one sprint. Okay, cool. Well, if everybody is ready, I guess we'll go ahead and start the next sprint. I'm feeling good about it. So, but I need some water, so I think that's probably what I'll do first, and then I'll start writing. But let's get to it in 3, 2, 1, write. Okay, how did everybody do? How was the spread for everybody? We had a couple of people join, I think, during that sprint. So um, I'll just say hi to Kingston. Hello, Kingston. Kingston says, sorry, I'm late. Just got out of work. And that is totally fine. These were so impromptu. Like I decided like 10 minutes before the sprint that I was going to, or the stream that I was going to do this. So don't even worry about being late. Mateo says, hello, everybody. How is everyone doing? I am doing well, Mateo. How are you? Let's see. Jenna is working on Project Orion. It's a paranormal romance, but I found a term, contemporary romantasy, which I think fits so much more for a vampires and werewolf story that's set in our time. Interesting. And I am tempted to agree with you on that. I am tempted to agree with you. Jenna was able to write 644 words. Truly did not expect to get any words today. Haha. Thank you, Charlie, for this. It's no problem. One of the reasons why I do these streams is because I also need to get words done. And I said this at the beginning of the sprint or the stream, but I don't know that anyone was actually here for it. But when I don't have other people writing alongside me, I really struggle to focus. So I do these, one, so that everybody can kind of join and like for it to feel like more of a community, but also because I also need to get words done. And up until the start of the stream, I had only written like 100 something words. So it was needed today. I am glad that you're doing well, Mateo. Great. That's great news. Jenna says, I'll stay for a bit longer. How long do you think you'll be here for? I think I'll be here for at least one more sprint, depending on how long we get on the wheel. Could be longer. Depends on how I feel, honestly. Really just depends on how I feel. Yes, yay for accountability. Exactly. I just feel like, well, like if you've been here for a while, you might know I have ADHD and something that happens to me when I am trying to focus on something by myself. I really struggle. I get like really distracted with like all of the things. And I find it really difficult to focus. So one thing that I really like is sort of like body doubling, which I can't do on my own. And the pre-recorded live streams don't really help me. So it's, yeah, just another way to keep me on track. During that sprint, I was able to write around 300 words. So I feel pretty good about how things went. But I also did like 3 pages of journaling because I'm trying to keep track of how I feel when I'm writing and like what I'm writing about sort of like and how it correlates to my life in the moment. So I spent like the first 10 minutes of the sprint just like writing in my journal. And yeah, so feel pretty good about that. How did everybody else do on that sprint? I know Jenna did a really good job. Journaling, how fun. Yeah. I always find that journaling is a really good idea, just in general for like any reason. But one thing that I really like to do, and I found super helpful for me, is journaling like my experiences and like my feelings in relation to those experiences. So for example, just like for very specific things. So for example, when I travel, every single location that I stop in, I always do one journal entry for like the location and the people that I meet along the way and like what those people were like and the experiences that I had in that particular place. So it's just like a really good way to like not only remember certain details, but just sort of like work through and process things, I think. And when I'm writing, I sort of write like how I'm feeling in the moment about the writing or the scene that I'm working on. So for example, like my journal, I'm so not private about my journal at all. Not one of those people, but in my journal today, I wrote about how I feel like I'm really similar to my main character, Delaney, in certain ways. She's probably the one character that I've written and worked on who is most like me. And it's just interesting when I'm writing how I relate to her and use my own experiences and the way that I felt in certain situations for her characterization in the book. So I was just kind of writing about that, and like kind of tying together the two things I feel like is really helpful. Mateo just got here, so my word count is 0. That's so fine. We're going to be doing some more words writing sprints here in a second. But before I jump into, the spinny wheel thingy, if anybody has any questions or something, like anything that they want to know, like advice, or if you're just curious about my writing project or whatever, feel free to ask in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to just read a line or several lines, I guess, because why the heck not? I like reading my lines. So just for some context, I'm currently writing a scene where my main character has sort of been like ambushed in a way. She feels like really betrayed because one of the person who's ambushed her, I say that word loosely, ambushed. One of the people who have ambushed her is like a friend, and so she feels like really betrayed and stuff. And he has brought along somebody who she considers her enemy. So this is the line that I wrote, or the lines, I guess. Please trust me with this, he says. His voice is steady, but there is a note of something in its undercurrent, sharper than a plea, not quite a warning. How, I say, and I gestured to the woman who is removing her hood and scarf. Her pale yellow hair unravels from beneath her robes. It stands out in the shadow of the murkwood, as if she were a beacon of light in the middle of the rough Aegean Sea. Ethereal, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, because why? I don't know. Beautiful and dangerous. This is Celine, Rasmus says. She is from the Temple of the Flame, but she also wants to help. That is my line for the day. That's just something, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is. So yeah, that's it. If anybody else would like to share a line, feel free to do so. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our timer, and we can spin the wheel. Oh, that was cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, this book is like really hard to write, honestly. It's like it's at a level that is above what I would typically write. So it's like posing a challenge, but I think that that's a good thing because it's like a test of my ability, and also like it can only help me improve to try to like reach something that I'm not 100% comfortable with. Ethereal. Yeah, I think that that's right. Ethereal. Like it's weird because like I know what it means, but it's such a hard word to pronounce for me. I suck at pronunciation. Like I'm really bad at it. I'm better at spelling than pronouncing things. It's like a weird thing. I don't know. Kingston says 60 minutes. Would anybody else like to guess how long we're going to be sprinting for? Oops. Here are our options. The last 2 times we got 30 minutes. So it sounds like you are meeting that challenge. I am trying to, but I think that's one of the reasons why like everything is taking me so long. I am noticing that I am starting to pick up speed, but before a 30-minute sprint, I might have gotten like 100 words, and now it's starting to become a little bit easier. But I'm still sort of struggling. It's like I'm in a weird spot with it. I'm just like in a really weird spot with it where I'm getting more comfortable, but it's just not exactly where I want to be. Hi, Haley. How are you? Hoping for 60 as well. We've got 45, 50, 45 and 60. I'm also hoping for 60. Like the longer the better at this point. All right, shall we spin? Let's spin. Let's spin the wheel and see what we're gonna land on. Oh. 45 minutes. We are going to be sprinting for 45 minutes, which is so much better than 30 minutes like we've been getting the last 2 times. So 45 minutes are on the clock. Matea says, I'm kind of glad I have simple prose because I don't have to worry about super complex words. Yes, and stars in the chat for Elizabeth. Stars in the chat for Elizabeth. Yes, to your point, yes. It would be a lot easier if I were to write simple prose. That being said, I like a good challenge. I've never been one to shy away from a challenge. In fact, you could consider me a little bit of a challenger because I like to challenge. I'm definitely okay with it. It's just I'm not used to it. But this work that I'm doing right now with Project Reaper. I am going to say this, it is falling a little bit more on the literary side than it is like anything else. So, and I'm totally okay with that. And I feel like this style that I'm doing, it really does the story justice, even though it might be a little bit slower pace wise. Like it's not like snappy and quick. It's definitely going to be a little bit slower, more descriptive, and everything than any of the other projects that I've worked on in the past. But I think that it works really well with the books that I'm writing. So yes, gold stars. Good job. Good job. All right, guys. If everybody is ready, we will go ahead and start this timer in 3, 2, 1. Right. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that scared the crap out of me. The timer scared me, you guys, but okay, sprint is over. How did everybody do? Let me know. I see that we had let's see, Alyssa's asked a question. Does anybody have any suggestions for an opening sentence? I'm writing a vampire novel and I'm having trouble coming up with a good opening line. Kingston is suggesting maybe a good backstory or cool introduction of the vampire. Haley says maybe some description of setting for your opening scene. Mateo says sometimes dialogue makes a good opening line. And I happen to agree. Some description of the setting is really good. So, like, think of where your character is starting. Like, what room are they in? Are they outside? Maybe, like, for example, I started my opening line with my character looking in the mirror. She was like inspecting bruises that she had. So maybe you can pick up a detail like what your character's current state of mind, or like physical state, and sort of try to describe that as much as possible, um, or just try to describe that in general, I guess. Or yeah, dialogue, if you're starting in the middle of a conversation, or maybe your character's being called somewhere or something, you know. I think these are all great suggestions. I can't really add a whole lot to that. Kingston said that it went good. Kingston, what are you working on today? Are you doing homework, or what are you working on? Mateo was doing chores. Okay, very, very cool. What kind of chores are you doing? Haley got 2 and a third chapters edited. Awesome, which is great because this is the most I've worked on my novel all day. See, everybody is making progress. Everybody's making great progress. Personally, I wrote, oh my gosh, I did a lot more than I thought I did. So, a couple of things. I wrote around 700 and something words. I don't know exactly how much I did, but around 700 something words. I am currently at 1,562 words for the day, and I just passed 20,000 words in my first draft. So very happy about that. I feel like I just like blinked and that sprint was over, but I made so much progress. So cool. Kingston finished Spanish. Okay. Very, very cool. And Mateo's doing laundry and will be mopping soon. Okay. I need to do laundry. Oh my gosh. Thank you for reminding me. I was going to put a load in earlier and I completely forgot about it. I've been in like a rush all day. So, funny story, I forgot that it was daylight savings time, or like that it was ending. And I fell asleep on my couch last night. So when I woke up this morning and my phone was dead and my laptop was dead and all of my clocks were saying that it was like 6 a.m., I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I went back to sleep. I was like, I'll just sleep for another hour. It's fine. And then I realized that it wasn't actually 6 a.m. because of daylight savings time ending. So cool. Yeah, it kind of scared me. And then ever since then, I've been in sort of a little bit of a rush. Wow, you are killing it. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been stuck all day trying to like work through like the distractions and everything, and I feel happy with the progress that I've made so far. I'm talking to all of you guys. Also, yeah, if you have anything else that you're working on, let me know. Like, I know you finished Spanish, but are you working on anything else? So, should I read a line, or like what's the thoughts there? I don't even know what I would read. All right, go for it. All right, so I guess I'll read this little paragraph. I just added, like, had to fix something in it really quickly, and that's what I was typing. So, all right. I can't think out here, I say, shivering. Let's go inside then, he says, and offers his hand again. I don't take it as I turn on my heel and stomp towards his cottage. Rasmus lights a fire as Celine and I take seats around his small dining table. When he's finished with the fire, he offers me some bread, which I grudgingly accept, tearing off a corner and stuffing it into my cheek. I'm hungrier than I thought, I realize, because as it turns out, running from those who wish to shackle you and enduring the betrayal of someone you thought was a friend works up quite an appetite. I do not say no, as he also offers me some hearty boar stew. That's the line. It's rough, but it's there. So it's fine. Like as long as the words are there on the page, it's fine. Because everything can be fixed later. So that's just a little bit of what I wrote in the last sprint. Most of what I'm writing now is just kind of dialogue. I'm getting into this description where um my character is like kind of learning about her history because she doesn't know who she is really because she's lost her memories because of something else that has happened. So um it's like I'm trying to like get another character to explain it to her because it's important for the story later down the line. It's just very like it feels kind of info dumpy. I'm not really happy with a lot of it, but it's fine for now. Kingston says that I'll most likely start reading. Okay, what are you going to be reading? Let me know. Wow, don't know the context, but I feel the sass. Yes, there is sass, definitely. Ooh, I'm intrigued to dig the cottage setting too. Yeah, so they are currently at okay, the three characters in this scene, I'll kind of give some context. The three characters in this scene are Rasmus, Delaney, and Celine. Delaney is the main character, Rasmus is the main character's love interest, and Celine is this person who Rasmus has brought from a place that Delaney has just run from and escaped from because they were trying to basically like prevent her from using her powers, and she didn't want that, so she ran, and so she feels like Rasmus has betrayed her, and so she's kind of like shunning him a little bit, and well, a lot actually. And but the thing is that Celine is only trying to help because she doesn't agree with the way that the people at this place have approached things. So that's the context. That's as much context as I can give you, really. Okay, so you're gonna read the Grimm fairy tales or Adventure of Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Sounds like a fun read either way. I like both of those actually. Very cool, very cool. All right. Before we jump into, I think, what would be the final sprint, does anybody have any questions or anything? Feel free to ask any questions at all, like about either like my manuscript or like your manuscripts if you need help or advice or whatever. I can't promise to be the best advice giver, but I can try. Or if you just have general questions, like pop them in the chat, let me know. And then after that, we'll jump on to the next sprint. Wham says, I love the name Rasmus. Yes, I also love the name Rasmus. Actually, I like all of my characters' names. I really tried to find names that had some sort of meaning behind them. So Rasmus, I think I have like the actual meanings behind their names somewhere in my brain dump, but they all mean something. Something. I know Delaney's name is where is the brain dump? Here it is. Delaney's name means dark challenger, which has some like implications down the line. So yeah. Naming character isn't too hard for me, but places is a different story. Yeah. I am totally on the same page as you. I also struggle to name places. But I've like this particular book has been a little bit easier in that sense, but I'm still struggling to name places for sure. Kingston says, I can see your reflection. Yeah, it's my window back there. Anyways, what books are you reading recently? So I recently finished these. Oh my goodness, cannot speak. I don't know. I recently read and finished Starling House by Alexi Haro. Love it so much. And I'm currently reading um, The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. So so far I'm kind of like on the fence about the Life Impossible. It's okay, but like I'm not really like as into it as I was with Starling House. Starling House, I ripped through that book in like 2 days. So, but I really love Alexi Haro's writing. The voice, she always has a very distinct voice in all of her books that I've read. I'm the exact way, same way, Mateo. Yeah, I think naming things is just hard. Like, because you don't want to be like the thing about naming things is like, especially if you're writing in a secondary world or like a fantasy or something that where you want to make up the names of the places and change it. Like it's hard because like a lot of the good names have already been used. And so to try to find something that is unique and yours is difficult, I think. William says, I'm in the deep trenches of writer's block. What are ways that you find helpful to combat it? So this is a really great question. So this is actually something that I really struggled with when I was working on my other Project Daydream. Like full all throughout the first draft, I was having writer's block. I think a part of the reason why I was struggling was because I was pantsing that novel. So I didn't have an outline, nothing at all. And I don't know if you're an outliner or not, but if you aren't an outliner, it might be helpful to try to brainstorm something. But also just like finding out why you feel like you have writer's block. Like if you are maybe you're like bored or something with the project, or maybe you're just like having some like insecurities like with your words or whatever, and or like imposter syndrome or something. If it's imposter syndrome, I recommend that you just like push through it and just keep going. Even if you have writer's block. If it's something else, maybe try to like journal about it. I know that helped me a lot. It always helps me to like do things that help me to feel creative. So like going out in nature, for example, or doing something else that's creative to kind of take your mind off the project, but not so like in-depth thinking wise, like maybe drawing or painting or coloring or something, just to sort of like continue to be creative, but in a way that allows your mind to kind of wander might be helpful. Wham says, yes, naming stuff. It was draft 2 before I came up with the name for the kingdom in my fantasy story. Yeah. It's just hard. Naming stuff is hard. I'm a planter for sure, yeah. Um, I think maybe just like doing a little bit of brainstorming before each time that you try to write can be really helpful. I found that every single time I got stuck, if I just like paused and brought out my notebook and just, you know, journaled a little bit or tried to like think of different things that or different ways that the book could go, it really helped me then to write after the fact. If it's perfectionism, just keep going. Yes, exactly. Haley says I find the best way to get out of writer's block is to keep writing, even if it's not working on your project continuously, but working on other things. Yes, I would agree with that 100%. Hi, Amat. How are you? Thank you. Love the journaling idea. Yeah. I feel like journaling just really helps. So like, just like write like how you're feeling and like why you feel like you might be feeling that way and like what you think might help you just to like get all of the excess out of your head so that when you approach your project again, you can come back at it with a blank slate. Amat is great. Mateo is doing well. You're very welcome. When I have typos, I say my fingers are drunk on the keyboard. They've had too much keyboard time. They're drunk on the keyboard. It's stupid, but it's fine. All right, so we're gonna do one more sprint. So I'm gonna pull this up. Would you guys like to guess how long we're gonna be sprinting for this time around? I'm thinking that we're going to land on 55 minutes. That's my guess. 55. I'll give you 5 seconds to lock in your answers. All right. So William says 40. Mateo thinks 50. Amat is saying 50. Haley's still hoping for 60. Me too. And another guess for 45, or can we only guess once? You can guess as many times as you want, as long as it's before the time runs out. So either one of those, if you are right, you will get gold stars. So let us spin the wheel. Minutes. So it looks like Mateo and Amat were correct. Let's go ahead and spam the chat with gold stars, people, because we've got some winners. We have some winners. Oops. Yes, spam the chat. Spam it. For Mateo and Amat. All right. While you guys are spamming the chat, I'm going to go ahead and update the timer. We'll focus for another 50 minutes, and then I think we're going to call it for the night. Hopefully 50 minutes is enough for me to hit my goal. I'm so close to my goal for the day. I have 1,000 words left to write, and then I've hit my goal. Everybody is going to do such a great job on this next sprint. I know we can all do it. All right, everybody at the ready. Fingers are locked in on that keyboard or on your pencil and paper or however you do it or whatever you're doing. And ready, 3, 2, 1. Go. All right, guys, how did you do? How did you do? I know we had a couple people leave during that time. Kingston had to go, but hopefully everybody did a good job and was able to get everything that they needed to get done finished in that time. I know it was a longer sprint, but we made it through. And guess what? I made my goal. I finished with 2,740 words for the day. Very happy about that. So in this last sprint, I wrote around 1,500 words, I believe. Maybe a little less than that. I don't remember exactly where I left off on the last sprint. Maybe it was 1,200. Because I think I had like 1,500 words down for the day. So I think I wrote like 1,200 because I'm at 2,740 for the day. So feel good about it. I actually got about 500 words. Congratulations. We've got some awesome congrats. Thank you guys. I appreciate the support. And last break I said I just passed the 20,000 word mark. I'm now at 21,935 words in the draft. So I definitely caught up a little bit. I'm still really behind, but I'm feeling really good about it. And I'll read one last snippet before we sign off. Okay, so for some context, my main character, Delaney, is being told about something that happened when they were kids by the other character, Rasmus. I explained that really weirdly, but I think you get the gist. Okay. I look at him then, and I don't know if it's the warmth of the fire or the conversation, but I swear I see the faintest hint of pink blush in his cheeks. A small bead of warmth emerges in the center of my chest as I watch him, but I can't hear anything he says. I realize this must be why he's been so nice to me all these years, why he hasn't said anything when I've stolen from him, why he offered me food when he caught me, and why he's helping me now. A part of me recoils from the disappointment, wishing that his kindness has stemmed from something other than childhood nostalgia. The other part is grateful for it. So that's my little snippet for the end of the stream. Haley was able to finish the chapter that she was editing, plus one more, but I'm happy with my progress for today. Great start to November. Yes, exactly. I'm so glad that you were able to work through all of that. Everybody else who's in the chat, please let me know how you did. Please let me know how you did. I'm glad that I'm like so grateful that you guys were all able to like join me for these impromptu sprints. I know it was last minute. Sometimes I do this when I'm like really struggling to kind of get in the mood to write, and it really, really helps me, obviously. Like almost all of the words that I did today were written on the stream, and it's all thanks to you guys who were able to join me. Because honestly, if like nobody had joined me, I probably would have ended a lot earlier than I did. So I thank you for that. Oh, I love that he's blushing. Yeah, me too. So Rasmus is kind of like a little sweetheart, but and he's Delaney's love interest, but they won't actually get together until later down the line. So I'm trying to like keep them sort of like I'm trying to make sure that it feels earned and to put enough stuff in their path that keeps blocking them from getting together. You know what I mean? But it's hard because like I want them together so badly. And I also should mention that during this last sprint in this chapter that I'm writing, there's also another subplot to another romance subplot between two side characters. And they met for the first time in this last chapter that I've been working on. So very nice. Elizabeth says, I've still got about 500 words to reach my goal today. You have so much time left. You can definitely do it. Thanks for all these streams, Charlie. Best way to stay productive. Yes, I agree. Core Pie. I'm assuming it's Core Pie. I'm not sure. I only had about 15 minutes of the last sprint, so I got around 150 words. I'm going to try to speed a bit later. Okay, you got this. You got this. And if you want, you can definitely rewatch. I just can't do any more today. Obviously, I've been on this for a while. Hey, I can dig a good slow burn. Yes, exactly. Like, it's obvious that they like each other, but, like, I don't know. It's obvious that they like each other, like, it's pretty clear, but I think Delaney's gonna think that all of his help is because they were technically childhood friends, even though she doesn't actually remember that because she has had her memories wiped. Um, there was a ritual performed that basically cleared out her memories from, like, anything that happened before that, so she has no idea that they knew each other. It's just, like, a whole thing. It's very different. JK was able to get 405 words, wrote a kiss scene between my pastry step. Ooh, I love it. I love a good kiss scene. Oops. William says, okay, but that's such an interesting dynamic for them. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Hopefully I can like make it as good as I want it to be so that it actually seems that way when other people are reading it, you know? That's the goal. That's the goal. Of course, JK, thank you for popping in. I really appreciate it. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of the stream. I appreciate every single one of you for being here. If you haven't already, please give this video or the live stream a like. And if you aren't already, please don't forget to subscribe. I do these live streams every Wednesday and Saturday morning. So Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time and Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then occasionally, if you would like to hit the notification bell, I do occasionally do impromptu live sprints. Like I mentioned, if I feel like I want to write, but I can't seem to focus, I always will do a live stream like impromptu. So you don't want to miss out on that. So if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Anyways, I appreciate every single one of you for being here. It's been really, really helpful. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.